I wish adults wouldn't stop listening to Uncle Moishy. I wish we would all listen to the musical genius Uncle Moishy more often, because the basic and most fundamental points of Jewish belief are always delivered in his songs. The problem is when we get older, no matter where we hear the lessons again, whether through a CD of a singer or inside of a chumash or from the mouth of an expertly delivered sermon from the great rabbi of your community, sometimes the same old lessons go off in your head and you say, oh, those are just children's stories. But you never relive Noah's Ark, Avraham Avinu, the 10 plagues ever as an adult. And this, God forbid, could be one of the examples. I ask you to lend an ear just for a minute for a medrash that maybe you've heard before, but it's important to hear it as an adult. The Medrash Rabbah 13:3, Dover acher ga'avas odom tashbi lenu. What's an example of the haughtiness of a person that causes himself to be lowered? Gaiva gone wrong? Zet Tavor ve'Karmel. Famous mountains that you've never heard of. The hill of Tabor, the mountain, the sprawling and majestic mountain of Carmel, that came from the end of the earth. Misgoyim loymar, and they very pompously said, Give the Torah unto me, God, when you're going to have this great wedding with you and the Jewish people and expose yourself and rip open the seven heavens. Expose yourself and give the Torah to a people. Do it on me, Mount Tabor, Mount Carmel, they argued. But what's an example of being lowly, being humble, is the one who really gets all the honors as Sinai. That is Mount Sinai that said, I'm lowly, I'm nothing, unassumingly relaxing in the corner. Upon that mountain, God gave the Torah. Now think about that for a second as an adult. This is the event of all events, the wedding of all weddings. It's supposed to be the most miraculous thing. Just imagine the 100th dinner to celebrate Yeshivas Mir with all of the billionaire donors sitting up there with all the great rabbis, but it's to be done very modestly. Right? Har Sinai is the wedding of all weddings, the Torah of all Torah, the mountain of all mountains needs to be chosen. It can't just be a small little cheese and crackers festivity. Imagine if a Rothschild was marrying a Shron, Rav Shmuel Kamenetsky, wedding Rav Don Segel, any of the insert big famous Jews, Torah scholars, donors, benefactors, and that event, they're now joining forces, God and the Jewish people, and we need a mountain? But God chose like a trailer park home, a tiny, small little mountain. Why would God do that? Because to teach the lesson, the Medrash is clear, the Torah is clear, to teach you the importance of humility. To teach you, Ushafal Ruach Yismaich Kavod, the humble one, is the one who wins. He's the one who gets all the honor. And not in a way that you hear people saying, I've been running for honor for so many years. I've been fleeing from honor. It hasn't caught up to me. Those people most of the time are looking over their shoulder for the kavod to run after them. But literally, to be an honest, unassuming person, that it's not about me, it's about others, that lesson is taught by picking Har Sinai, and it makes the most incredible of all events small, because how important we see here is the lesson of Anivos. The same thing, a similar lesson is done when Hashem, he says, Nasa Adam, let us make man. What do you mean, let us make man? The creation of man only has one creator. The whole world only has one creator. There's only one Genesis by one entity. Why is God saying Nasa, plural, asking the angels? Because Rashi tells us this verse does not hold back from teaching Derech Eretz Umidas Anova. Listen to younger, ask advice from the smaller, be humble. How important it is. The lesson of humility, that even at the event of all events, unassuming and humble mountain was chosen, and even by the very mentioning of the creation of man, God puts heresy on the line to teach the importance of humility. To do something practical, why don't we listen to other people when they talk? Not think we always know the answers, but to honestly, with an open ear, listen, because, hey, maybe I'm not all that great, and maybe someone else has something good to say. It's one of the important lessons that we heard as a child from the great Uncle Moishy that we need to rehash and rethink about now that we're adults.